even know who we're talking about.
Oh,
Tampa Bay Rowdies.
No. The St. Louis. Did you mean just then, or did you mean in general?
He meant the St. Louligans. You know who they are, right?
The Louisville City supporters.
We're gonna have a YouTube chat.
Do not get on terribly well.
Oh no,
I can have a YouTube chat for this.
I can pull it for you, Ryan.
They do. They do get along, actually.
Well, you and Matt don't, today.
No, me and Matt do, and no one else.
I hate having to listen to myself for 10 seconds while I pull.
Oh, I'm doing the chat right now. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I have it.
No worries.
Okay.
Boom, get it.
Just sent it.
Oh, all right. Well.
Oh, bad.
Hi, everybody. We're back. Hi, Carson.
Don't worry, Alan. He didn't tell the joke yet, so you're good.
Yeah. So people on live chat. Fun fact: we go live. We try to go live every Tuesday night at about 9 p.m. Eastern on YouTube.com/the USL Show. What you're going to see or what you're going to hear is everything we just did and then some. So the podcast will be unchanged, but the live stream will unfortunately have to have suffered for it. So if you want to hear kind of the first 20 or so minutes, we talk about Gold Cup rosters and we talk about how much we love French-speaking USL fan accounts and our top 5 coaches that are ready for the bump up to MLS. Do that on our podcast, which you can find on, let me see here, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, or theuslshow.com or bgn.fm. You can find it there, everywhere. See, and yeah, technical difficulties. No, that was a work so that I had to read off all the places you can find us again. Masterminds. Alan, the joke that you'll hear in the podcast, but that I'll repeat for your sake because I know you're scared, is that the USL is now going to start suing Manchester United, United Way, the United Center in Chicago, Illinois, and United Airlines for copyright infringement. Michael Baldwin, yes, it was a work shoot, brother. Anyone that channels Hulk Hogan is my new favorite, except for. Well, that player in Oklahoma City, but that's neither here nor there. Boys, we're talking matches. Ryan, Tampa Bay are for real, and we wanted you to talk about the ELO ratings as it relates to the Tampa Bay Rowdies and their seemingly single-handed decimation of everybody else in the Eastern Conference so far.
Yeah, Tampa Bay has done really well. They're currently leading the ELO ratings, I think, at 1154 at the moment, with only the New Mexico United in the Western Conference at a close second, 1141. But they seem as like a very early pick to be the favorite for basically winning the Eastern Conference at the moment. They're currently unbeaten in the season. Their last win was a 2-0 result over New York Red Bulls 2. Juan Tejada had a brace in that match. And I always think back to the fact that I picked Tampa Bay 3rd round of our team draft, thinking that they would have a comeback season. And it seems like something currently that they're on the right track to have that comeback season through 11 games. That's 6 wins and 5 draws. And it just seems like they're on the right track at the moment for the season. Their next couple matches will be hosting Swope Park at Birmingham and then hosting the two of the Carolina sides of NCFC and Charleston.
That'll be a good test.
Yeah, I mean, I think Swope Park, kind of rooted at the bottom of the table, may be a bit of an easier matchup for them. But once they get around to currently playoff sides of NCFC and Charleston, that'll be a decent test. And then Ottawa in June. I think what's going to be a tricky turnaround situation would be on July 20th, they'll be hosting St. Louis, and then they travel to New York Red Bulls too.
That sounds tiring, those two opponents. But we'll see. They're looking so good, though. You know, it looks like, I don't know, even in the past when they've had an all-star lineup and they're clicking, you know, playing at home, you just seem like They know what they're doing. Something's going to break at some point, and they're going to score a couple goals. And they kind of have that look about them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like seeing that. It's fun.
And they're deep too.
They are, but you know what? I was about to say they're not like star-studded anymore. It's interesting because Poku is having trouble getting on the field, and that's shocking.
Yeah,
you know.
that's fair.
But still great players. Leo Fernandez is one of my favorite players in the league right now.
Oh, I know him. Yeah, they're a really strong side. They're really hitting well, and they're finally the Rowdies team that I think everyone was a little worried about when maybe not the year that they joined, but the year after, where it's just like, oh, they're gonna run through everybody.
No, they've rebounded. I think so far I have a steal of that team draft.
Yeah, you do 100%. 100%.
Other things, Indy 11, 1-0 over Charleston Battery. They have one loss in their last 5. They're Indy are playing great. Those Indy 500 inspired racing jerseys they have are really clean. And if Trey Higdon would like to slide one my way, he may do. That would be acceptable.
I'm Googling. I haven't seen these yet.
Oh, they're really sharp. Yeah.
I'm curious when they go on sale.
I don't know. Hey, speaking of kits, this is a really good way so I could work in shouting out a friend of mine. Speaking of things that are going to go on sale soon, if Sam Dorr wants to keep one of those Pride jerseys just kind of off to the side for your boy, he should do. He already liked the tweet. Good God! All right, that's going to happen. Phoenix Rising are selling Pride training tops, which have their logo in the rainbow colors, which I'm very excited about. So I'm going to get me one of those.
Someone send me this jersey. I got it. Someone's got to link me that.
I'll find it right quick. Anyway, while I do that, let me talk about Ottawa Fury being a really good soccer team and Bethlehem Steel being too greedy with the formula of if we sign a bunch of young kids, they can work, and then we'll just filter them on through the first team. Because Ottawa stomped them 3-0, which I don't feel as bad about as I do in recent years. I saw a tweet earlier tonight where Ottawa, I think, are on Ryan's 17 points right now. Sounds right?
Yeah, Ottawa are on 17 points.
And last year at this time they were on 9, so they've clearly improved. Mm-hmm. But Bethlehem, overcompensated a little bit, or maybe not overcompensated, but don't have the formula that works for them like they had the last couple of years, if that makes sense at all.
In a way, do you think they got kind of too good? Well, I don't know. Too good at their system would mean they have replacements, but it seems like all the really good players have moved up and they're using them on the senior side.
I mean, so if you look at we'll use last year as an easy example because I can, and there's a couple guys on that team that were that are relevant now if you pay attention to the U20s. So last year, Bethlehem had Matt Real, Mark McKenzie, a little bit, but mostly Matty. They had guys Drew Skundrich and Matt Mahoney was still there. James was there. You had Aronson was proving himself. I think they're in a weird gap where Ernst Tanner might value youth internationals more than some of their academy kids, which is fine. I don't really care about that from a sentimental standpoint. But I think this might be one of the gap years for the academy. And every MLS club, Kev, I'm sure the Timbers go through this, and Red Bull have gone through it, where there will be years where that group that you have coming up into the U18s or whatever just isn't as good as the one before it. This might be one of those gap years, but at the same time, there's just clearly a lack of guys that are in their mid-20s or something that are playing for either better USL contracts or to prove a point to MLS teams that might have passed them in the super draft or whatever. That have that fire and have that capability and a little bit of professionalism maybe that they had in previous years with a guy like, I don't know, Santi Moore. He's playing out of his bloody mind this year.
Yeah, I think that happens with any club that relies on you.
Oh, it really does.
I think Red Bull's a weird one. Granted, one year they'll win, and then one year they will be mid-table. You know what I mean?
Well, and
But
like
that's relying on the system more than it is, on the chain of
yeah, and I mean, I think like just objectively speaking, like Tyler Adams is literally a generational talent, and the Union haven't really had one of those come through yet. Like they've had very good American talents and they've had very good MLS talents.
Aaronson's
but like
close to that.
Aaronson's, I don't want to big him up too hard, but he's getting there.
Yeah.
But like even if you compare Aaronson and Adams, like Adams is just
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, he's already in Europe. That's how good he is. Like it was clearly that's a guy that we're gonna need. And so, Red Bull snapped him up, or like, Timo Weah, who PSG are like, well, we can sell him for a profit if we let him go. But we'll see. Yeah. So Ottawa are definitely for real. I'm just frustrated with how Bethlehem's season is panning out so far, for sure. I'm biased, whatever.
I get it. And they're yours, so you're more judgmental.
Yeah, I know a couple of those guys.
Yeah, I get that. I do want to mention Ottawa because while Ryan got the steal of the draft, I did pick Ottawa and everyone freaked the F out about it. And now, I mean, it's looking like
if you say you saw this coming, though, I'm gonna call your BS.
No, dude, go back and listen. Now I'm gonna post it for real.
All right,
go back. And
all
I'm
right,
gonna post it, and I'm gonna say, "Suck it, Evan."
Yep. All right.
I said,
sir, you're a father of 3 children. That's no way to talk to a fellow adult. All right, that's crossing a line.
I will teach all of my kids to rub poop in all of the people's face. Doubt that.
You're going to be like, listen, so there's this guy named Evan. He lives in Pennsylvania. This is over here. You're going to be able to teach them geography, how to swear, and what not to say to people when you're talking to them all at the same time.
Those are 3 good things to learn.
They're really great, especially geography.
Let's also be... Go ahead, Phil.
No, I'm sorry.
Ryan, please pile on. I want to know what you have to say.
I was saying, let's be a little fair to Ottawa that from June 22nd through July 14th, they have a stretch of matches where they're at Nashville, host Charleston, at Tampa, at New York Red Bulls 2, and host Louisville City. Which isn't going to be an easy stretch of games. They've already played Charleston and Louisville City so far this season, having lost to Louisville, drew Charleston, and they also have already played Nashville an 0-3 defeat. So there is a tough stretch of games coming up for the Fury.
Yeah. And you're right. And they've had some easy ones, to be honest, lately. But the big thing that hurts them there is I do think their biggest weakness is defending. And I kind of got some clarification from a buddy, Tyler David, plays for Hartford, and he's kind of scouting them out because they're about to play him. And he said, their center backs maybe are the only weak spot on the team. And that was a weakness last year till they kind of loaned a guy in, and I'm blanking on who that was and where it was from, but it was kind of a big name, and it worked. It helped them. But that said, I do think Popovich is a good coach, and this is kind of what I said in what I'm referring to in preseason, that I think he's a good coach, that he brought in Wall and Charlie Ward, who we all have lots of faith in. I think their wingers have been more productive than I expected on top of that. And so their attack's just good. It's like a lot of possession. He wants even more possession than they have because they can be pretty practical at times, surprisingly so for Popovich. But they just look like a good team, and they play pretty soccer. I don't expect it to necessarily pay off to be like top 4, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was 5th, 6th, 7th, going into the playoffs.
Phil, real quick, did you see the indie kits? Ryan posted them in the chat for you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm going to go look.
Hey, I had a thought, and I lost it. Oh, Wallfall's still undefeated against Bethlehem Steel FC all time.
Those kits are hot.
They're really good, eh? Yeah.
Might buy one. That and the San Antonio, was it Fiesta kit?
The Fiesta kits, yes. The old San Antonio Spurs colors. What else we got? Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, New Mexico United are terrifying.
Dude, what is it? What did they do?
I don't know. So, basically, if you have a USL franchise coming in the pipeline next year and no one knows about it, please reach out to us. and you will do really well in your first season. That's all there is to it.
I just want to know what they did to put together such an amazing team, because you don't normally have an expansion team just come out the gates like this.
You certainly don't. This is some like lost. You know what it is? You put an expansion team in the Southwest, and they do really well.
I said coming into this season that New Mexico United I was picking around a top 5 team in the West, and that they would be the best expansion side.
You did.
And I hate that they were.
Y'all, how many episodes of this are you gonna make me listen back to now? At least 2, just to drag me.
This was in our bowl prediction ones at the start. I hate that I didn't get around to picking them in the draft, and I had ample opportunities to do so, but I was high on New Mexico coming into this season.
Here's what I want to do is I want to break down why. Ryan, now, since you put yourself on the spot here saying you got it right, why though? Why did you think they were going to be so good? Because I didn't think so.
I was just looking at all the name recognition players that they were signing of Keelan and Frater, and of course now Santi Moar. Or, I mean, after having Evan talk about Santi Moar for a few seasons, I felt like he would do well over out in New Mexico, and it just seems like they figured everything out, and aside from a 2-1 defeat with Reno 1868, they've done pretty much everything correctly, even down to attendances, just social media, everything they've built up well.
Yeah, and part of it, I wonder, is in the West, it might be a good idea to just get a really good keeper and then just load up on the attack. But you cannot value what they did with Santi Moar. You can't. It's hard to beat someone that people probably aren't valuing for as many goals as he's gotten this year.
And like, there's not a lot of guys that are going to pop up like that.
No, this doesn't happen. I think this is like a 5-year special buy. You know what I mean?
Right.
It really, really hit the jackpot with him. I don't think they expected this per se. I think they expected like, hey, he's going to be better. We think we found a gem, a diamond in the rough.
I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, friend, but I don't think Santiago Moore was expecting this.
That's interesting. Hit us up, buddy.
Like, I think, listen, he knows he's good and he's very good, but I don't think that kind of start. I mean, I don't know. There's something to be said or something to be asked, I guess, about what guys envision as far as their season goes. But man, him and Kevon Frater causing some trouble. I would, however, like to talk about the Colorado Springs Switchbacks, because at the beginning of the season, hey, look, here's the part where I get to tell people to listen to old episodes. We were like, oh, they're gonna pair up with the Colorado Rapids. That'll be great for them because like they're local and they'll get more players. And then the Rapids were absolutely hot garbage forever, so they didn't get any of those players that they probably were gonna get. Because like, if your team's bad, you want to figure out who can make them better, so you're gonna use your fringe guys. And so Colorado Springs hasn't gotten like anyone from the Rapids this year. And they just like don't know who they are yet. Like, winless in 5 games, they're 2-7-2 overall. Like, they average 99 minutes between goals. They finish off 8% of their chances. Joe May, the guy who played for Nashville last year, the center defensive mid, is a great player and like good name recognition, but like, he's a center defensive mid. And I looked it up. Alex Milano, who, fun fact, was an FC Dallas Academy boy and then actually played for Dinamo Zagreb's academy, has the most chances, but has only started 6 games. So, like, I don't know what Colorado Springs are doing, but they're not doing themselves any favors. And obviously, New Mexico, on their day, might be the best team in USL, maybe. Or what? I mean, they're definitely one of. But, yeah, it's been a really weird, awkward season for Colorado Springs so far.
And just think, on the 29th, they'll have to play New Mexico again in the Open Cup.
Ugh.
Here's a weird one that came out today. Ben Wright, everyone should be checking out his power rankings every week. I think they're pretty cool to look at, and he puts them on a nice graph. And today, I don't think he usually does this, but today he posted them combined, Eastern and Western. And it was interesting to look at. I think there's no good way to combine them, but New Mexico, I believe, was on top. And you have to wonder what would happen if they went up against, say, Tampa Bay tomorrow. What would happen? It'd be a really fun game to watch. But I do wonder, where I'm going with this is that I do wonder if New Mexico would get shut down by how compact.
Because TweetDeck is a wonderful app and I can find it easily, Ben's combined East and West power rankings are in fact Tampa Bay, Red Bull 2, New Mexico.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting.
So, I mean, your thought process is 100% correct. Where it'd be really interesting to see what they would do against Tampa Bay or the Red Bulls, but we're not getting that until some ridiculous miracle of the U.S. Open Cup or the USL Final.
November.
Yeah.
I could see that being the final. Yeah, I know it's super early, and I'll eat those words later, but it'd be fun to watch, even if it something weird happened between now and then. And
Chris Weehan was another player I wanted to give a shout out to, who I was pretty high on it going into the season, and he's still leading New Mexico in assists.
That's awesome to hear, because I started having my doubts after the first few games with him. And Openo has not been killing it in Tampa Bay. And so I thought Weehan would be similar, but no, I mean, one's succeeding, one's doing fine. Openo's not bad, but that's good to see. Good player. Good system.
Oh, Phil, I suppose you want to talk about your St. Louis FC drawing Louisville City 0-0.
Oh, the only thing I wanted to mention is that Louisville looked like their old selves, and I think everyone should be on alert that Louisville's maybe back.
I feel like Louisville's old selves would have gotten the win out of that, especially at home, though, eh?
Well, I guess what I'm saying here in the bias is that St. Louis is that good. I really
see, that was the underlying thing you were trying to get out of me.
I didn't mean to do that.
No, you didn't.
Bias popping out, but if you were to assume that St. Louis is that good, then Louisville was incredibly good this last week. But they were at home. St. Louis is worse on the road, more conservative on the road. The thing I loved about that game, though, is that Louisville, their press was just unbelievably good, which is one of the best things they did in the past. So lots of chances on goal, way more chances than St. Louis. I thought they looked good, and I think they'll destroy anyone mid-table and down in the near future, at least, if they keep this going. Props to Hackworth, I guess, because he's bringing them back a little bit.
Yeah,
with a bunch of new faces.
Also, the last time St. Louis played Louisville City in the league in Louisville, it was a 0-0 result. That was the opening match of the 2017 season.
Interesting.
The final match on the docket, by the way, as we always want to do, or as we like doing naturally, talking about Tacoma Defiance playing Reno 1868, baby. That's a marquee matchup every year. 1-1 draw. The result isn't the important part. What is important is the Tacoma Defiance have etched themselves into the USL record book. 8 seconds into their match, they get a goal. And I'm a big proponent of if you score before the 40th minute, it's too early. But man, that was early. Reno get one back, and it ends in a draw.
Tacoma with the record-setting fastest goal in USL history of 8 seconds. I mean, when you watch the highlight, it just goes from kickoff to scoring. It reminds me of that Christian Eriksen goal against Manchester United in January of 2018, which was 10 seconds into that match. But no, the Tacoma, per our very own Pony, they now own the USL record for fastest goal in league history.
Oh, yeah, and a couple things about this game. Corey Herzog, who didn't do too well with St. Louis last year, has been really surging in Reno as of late. So it's good to see him kind of getting back on his horse and scoring a lot in a system that definitely favors him a lot better. And then the other thing about this game, if you follow the national team youth setup, Josh Atencio is a guy that's well worth following for the Sounders, playing for Defiance, obviously, but
yeah,
he's been a 6 and he hasn't been getting a million minutes this year. So they have talked about how they're trying to work on projecting what someone's body will develop into by the time they're older. They'll look at their parents. They'll do all these things to kind of guess what they're going to be like finished product physically. And they've decided to move Josh Atencio back to center back instead of playing as a 6. And I think we're going to see a lot more of this in the U.S., almost like akin to, we don't have any left backs, so let's just take a bunch of left mids and teach them how to defend. That's
Sure.
the thing that's been happening. I think we're going to start seeing 6s move to center back if they are good defenders, because modern center back, obviously, you need to be able to pass out of the back. And so if they have the defensive stoutness, their body's they're not necessarily crazy fast. They're going to look like a center back by the time they think they're 22, 24. Move him back. And so he's the first to do that on a high level. And I think you may see him in the youth setups in the future once he gets acclimated. Good player.
Another shout out for at least for Reno is after the goal that had equalized to come was from Brian Brown. That was his 7th on the year, and he's currently tied for 2nd in most goals in USL at the moment.
As you would have predicted.
Yeah,
naturally.
That's not a big surprise.
Right. I said I was going to get to Mike Pendleton's question at the end of the show, so I suppose I'll do that. Mike tweeted, it was a poll. When will the soccer... Sorry. I'm bad at this. When will hashtag soccer wars with a Z be over? The options were within 5 years, 5 to 10 years, 10 to 20 years, or longer, and then in brackets, or never. Guys, I'm going to be honest. I put longer and never. Ryan apparently put 10 to 20 years because he's an optimist.
I put 5 to 10.
Wow, you're what? No, never. Oh my God,
Never, huh?
never.
Well, what I meant was that I think on the pro level, at least, I think it's going to be over once MLS, USL, if they ever implement Pro Rel within their own leagues, each, and if they combine, then it's really over. I don't know if that would.
No, my weird thing about like the whole that whole argument where it's like once USL implements Pro Rel, like that'll be it. Like, aren't they just a closed system even with the Pro Rel because they're only going to be Pro Rel within themselves?
Yeah, that'd be what their setup would be.
Yeah, so no one's really going to get what they want here, right?
Right. I mean,
yeah. So
this is the United States.
Yeah.
No one's getting what they want.
Okay, cool. Because like MLS, USL, and like NPSL are not just going to magically be like, nah, let's open it up. Like, it's not going to be a weird like sitcom thing where they're like,
but if they're the only pro leagues in the country, then is it really closed?
But like by definition, yeah, because there's 3 pro leagues in the country right now, and it's closed.
Not to say any spoilers of a recent series finale, but there's a quote from that pretty much goes, well, basically any situation that arises from this Pro Rel is basically going to be no one is very happy, which means it's a good compromise.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put that, Ryan.
Other spoilers, Steve Harvey and Dr. Phil fly off into the sun and save the universe. I'll let you guess which movie that's from. The Village actually takes place in modern times. That was a good one. Bruce Willis was dead the whole time. The Titanic sinks. That's a huge one. I'm sorry.
Wait, Bruce Willis was dead the whole time? Wow,
Those 2
episodes of Friends.
Yeah.
It completely changed my...
It's a lot darker. I know.
View of that. But no, I put down 10 to 20 years for that soccer wars just because I was trying to be at least optimistic and looking at it from the same situation that FIFA looked at the United States before they hosted 1994's World Cup. And now as 2026 on the docket is now in 7 years, it seems like that's something that FIFA will want to reevaluate the United States leagues. And much like they said, okay, you need to create MLS, they might want to take a look at it again. But
I gotta disagree with you on that. I gotta disagree with you on that one. Going back to 1994, I completely understand FIFA saying, "Hey, if you're going to host this World Cup, you should have a professional league." Outside of like that, I just do not see FIFA caring at all what the Soccer Federation does with the pyramid.
Yeah.
So I don't think that there's going to be any influence from them. But that being said, I do agree with you as far as 10 to 20 years, depending on how things go. Like you guys have mentioned, I do think that the USL is going to get to a pro rel within their own leagues. MLS is not going to go anywhere. MLS is not going to open up. MLS themselves, if they go to 30 or 40 teams with people dropping 300, 400, 500 million, maybe they'll go to two divisions and kind of go up and down within them. But
like a Liga MX thing?
Maybe. I don't really know. But as far as like the timeline and when this whole thing will go over, I think that a lot of these professional soccer leagues are trying to get off the ground, won't. And then in 10 or 20 years, the system will either going to be the same or USL is going to have pro rel within its 3 divisions. MLS is just going to still be the top, but it's going to be, I think it'll just be less of an issue down that road as soccer just gets more popular. People just kind of accept this is how America does things. And after the 2026 World Cup, I think we maybe not even discuss it anymore. I don't know.
Well, a lot of people have been bringing up how Mexico, I think we did it in our DMs today, actually. I think it was Ryan saying how Mexico wants to have no pro rel in the future.
Right.
And I mentioned after that in European Super League at some point with no pro rel, this could become norm in the future, kind of what you're alluding to there.
Well, part of the problem with the pro rel in Mexico is that you can just pay to not have it happen to you.
Yeah, which happens.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because Mexico is going to have that problem next year with Liga MX. So Veracruz was going to be that last team to get relegated, but they're going to be staying in the league as Atletico San Jose, Atletico's Madrid Liga MX side. Hey, they're just going to they won promotion for the Ascenso division, so Liga MX will now have 19 teams in their league next year as opposed to their typical 18. And so there is no relegation happening this season. It's just a promoted team coming up.
Also decently sure I heard that if like Veracruz was going to get relegated, they just go into like administration. So it's a weird scenario.
And the A-League's already expanding in Australia to have 2 new teams as well.
Yeah. It's becoming a thing, right?
Well, there's money in soccer. I mean, Ryan's asking about, is FIFA going to care about how the U.S. has their pyramid set up? They don't even care about how Qatar builds their stadiums, so clearly not.
Yeah, you're right.
FIFA doesn't even care how to do ticketing for the Women's World Cup.
Right, yeah. You want to sit with your children? Sucks. Why would you want to do that? That's what it was. FIFA's doing everyone a favor, being like, we're getting you away from your kids for at least an hour and a half. Isn't that what you wanted?
I think that's the big thing. It's nothing that a pile of money won't fix. I mean, this is FIFA or can't fix. All right, this is FIFA that we're talking about.
Without a doubt. We'll be able to do what we want for the right price.
Well, and that's our new tagline, ladies and gentlemen. Doing what we want for the right price here at the USL show. Phil, read the ad. Do it. Go right into it.
Hey, if you guys need anything, you might want to go to Golden Goal Press. It's the best choice for you to get custom shirts, hats, mugs, and other items just for yourself or organization. Check out their amazing products at a fraction of the price of other places at goldengoalpress.com. First time reading that if it's not obvious.
Goldengoalpress.com. They do what you want for the right price.
Yeah, go do it or ask for more money.
Yeah. Or
and then do it.
Start doing it yourself and bootleg it. Whatever. Who knows? Sharpie and a white t-shirt from Hanes, baby. That's all you need. Guys, should we get out of here before this gets any worse?
Definitely do that.
Okay, great. Let's do that. So if you want to follow any of us, feel free to do so. Ryan is at my favorite airport, at ILM_Ryan. Sorry, let me rephrase that. He's not literally at my favorite airport all the time, nor is the one in Wilmington my favorite airport. At ILM_Ryan is his Twitter handle. You can follow him there. You can follow my dear friend Kev at KMcCamishPDX. You can follow Phil at Phil Grooms with 2 L's and 2 O's. Or at STL Soccer Report if you're more only caring about soccer things that happen in St. Louis or Josh Sargent news. If you, for whatever reason, want to hear, see, or complain to me directly, you can do that at Speak Evan Speak. I'll be more than happy to block you after you complain about what I do with my life, or I don't know, accept your praise for saying that I'm clearly your favorite USL-based podcast host. Clearly. Kelsey Steele ain't got nothing on me. No, it's not true at all. She's wonderful. And that was actually a very good podcast to rehash that from a month or two ago. If you want to follow the show, you can do at the USL Show. We're being sued, so don't worry about it. But they're gonna hand me over that paper any day now. I can feel it.
We'll buy our way out. Everyone's
we will. We're gonna see if FIFA can get us to stay on the air. Yeah, so check us out at the USL Show. Special thanks to our sponsors for putting up with this every week. BGN FM at the BGN FM, BGN.FM, and Roughneck Scarves at Roughneck Scarves or roughneckscarves.com, as well as Golden Goal Press. We appreciate it every week. Thanks for everyone for sticking with us through the live stream. Thanks for everyone listening to the podcast and everything. And we will talk to you guys next week. Take care, y'all.